Hello, this is Nick from PlanetReport.net. A few days ago I made a video about whether lynx can attack humans, because there is talk of a reintroduction program in the UK of the Eurasian lynx, which last lived here over 1,000 years ago and then they went extinct, and there's talk about reintroducing them to rural areas. So I did a video about whether lynx can attack humans, and the sort of conclusion I came to was that bobcats in America sometimes do attack humans, but it's, for all the reports that I looked at, the bobcats had rabies, and that was seen as the reason why they attacked humans. Well, in the UK, we don't have rabies because they quarantine dogs and animals when they come to the island, and so for a long time there's been no rabies in Britain. So that is not something that the lynx would have. So based on that, the chances of any lynx attacking humans is almost zero, probably. There's always a potential, because I think in Slovenia or somewhere like that there was a bit attack a few years ago, but nothing, very rarely, if at all. And anyway, when I was doing that, I found a video of a mountain lion, which is sometimes called a cougar, and these are in America. And the video was of a hiker in the Glacier National Park, and the name of the guy was Trevor Rasmussen, and he was on a track, and a mountain lion, which are quite considerably larger than lynx, just stared at him, and I'll put a link below of the encounter. It's quite hair-raising. So of course I began to wonder, do mountain lions attack humans? Because obviously they look quite a lot more scary than a lynx does. And so I've looked into it, and well, I'll start first of all by quickly telling you a little bit about mountain lions or cougars. Just get the right bit. Right, here we go. Right, the Puma concolor cougar, which is a Latin name, once was found throughout America, but now mostly, it resides in the western part of the USA, such as the Yellowstone National Park. And in the state of California, there's estimated to be between 4,000 to 6,000 of them. And it's on the least concern on the IUCN Red List, which monitors endangered species. So there's a sizable population of them. And there's also a population in Florida, and that's a subspecies which is critically endangered according to IUCN, and that lives in swamp forests. And there's estimated to be 230 in the wild in 2017, and that's up from, I think it was something like 20 in the 1970s. So although still very rare, there are actually a lot more of them than what there was so many decades ago. So they're reclusive and they avoid people. They live solitary lives and hunt alone. But as more people trek in the national parks, there is obviously more chance of encounters of the cats. They can be 60 to 90 centimeters tall, which is 24 to 35 inches. Males can weigh on average 62 kilograms, which is 137 pounds, and females 42 kilograms, which is 93 pounds. They can be heavier than that and they can be lighter, but that is the average. They don't roar like a big cat, but they make like a screaming sound, and they hunt in fast, short bursts with a top speed of 64 to 80 kilometers an hour, or if you live in the UK and America, you'll know that as 40 to 50 miles per hour. And they eat mainly deer, and they hunt at dusk and dawn. So that is possibly a time where, if you're on the west coast of America, where it's a lot hotter in the summer, you would maybe go for a walk in the morning or in the evening, not in the middle of the day. So there is the chance that you might encounter one. However, they don't seek out humans. If you're in a forest, they're going to avoid you. They really don't want to come across you, that's for sure. But sadly, there are cases where, for one reason or another, a cougar can attack humans, and in some cases, very occasionally, they can be fatal. And I've got some information about some of the fatalities in the last couple of decades. The information goes back further than that, but I thought I would just focus on since the 1990s. So in 1991, a young man called Scott Lancaster was killed while jogging a route above a high school in Idaho Springs, Colorado. In 1992, a little boy called Jeremy Williams was attacked and killed in Cayucet, British Columbia in Canada, by a young female cougar and while he was playing in the schoolyard. 1994, a lady called Barbara Bosselu Schooner. She was a long distance runner and she was attacked while jogging on the American River Canyon Trail in California's Auburn State Recreation Area. And then 1994 again in the winter, Iris M. Kenner, she was 56. She was killed while hiking alone near Cuyamaca Peak in California's Cuyamaca Rancho State Park. Then 1996, Cindy Parolin, 36-year-old. She was a mother and she was killed while defending her 6-year-old son on horseback riding trip in Tulameen, British Columbia. And then 1997, Mark Medema, 10-year-old, killed by an adult female cougar in Colorado's Rocky Mountain National Park while hiking when he got ahead of his family. And then the 2000s, there's 3 mentioned here, and these are fatalities. There's been other ones where there's been injuries. So Frances Frost, age 30, 2001, Canmore, Alberta. She was a resident and killed by a cougar while skiing on Cascade Fire Road just north of Banff National Park in Alberta. And then 2004, Mark Jeffrey Reynolds, 35, was attacked and killed while mountain biking at Whiting Ranch Wilderness Park in southern Orange County, California. It's believed his chain fell off and the cougar attacked when he bent down to repair his bike. And then finally, Robert Nawarczewski, 55, in 2008. Searchers found his body on this date near his mobile home in Pinos Altos, New Mexico. Investigators concluded that he'd been attacked and killed by a cougar several days earlier. So, yeah, they can attack and they can be fatal attacks. So, I've looked into see what can be done if you encounter a mountain lion, because obviously it'd be quite terrifying, I think. Although amazing as well, because they're absolutely beautiful. If you see the photo on this video, you'll see how striking they are. But the advice apparently is to stand tall, raise your hands and shout. And you're not supposed to crouch or kneel or anything which makes you like lower to the ground, because apparently they don't see a human standing up as, usually they wouldn't see you as prey that way. But if you're lower on the ground, and also obviously children are smaller, so that's a potential there. So obviously, shouldn't one of the cases there says the child had ran ahead of the family on the trail, so obviously you should keep your children close by. And then another one, it said he'd been kneeling down when he was doing his bike, so apparently that's something you should try and avoid to do, kneeling down. And then if it did come towards you and run at you on something, it says you should just shout and throw sticks and stones and then grab a stick to fight it off, because there have been cases where people have been attacked and they've managed to just fight them off. So there we go. So yeah, that's the answer to the question. The mountain lions or cougars can attack humans, and very occasionally they can be fatal. So thanks for listening to this. If you'd like to, please subscribe if you want to listen to more similar videos. And in the meantime, goodbye.